Good morning, students. Today we are going to study AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It's an immunodeficiency syndrome which have taken away many lives in past 30 to 40 years. It stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. If we try to understand its meaning word by word, then first of all it is a deficiency of immune system which is acquired during lifetime of an individual. That means it is not a congenital disease, that is, it is not caused before birth. Syndrome, it means group of symptoms. It was first reported in 1981, and in last 25 to 30 years it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million persons. It is caused by a virus named human immunodeficiency virus, which is a member of group of viruses known as retroviruses. Students, retrovirus means the virus which have RNA as its genome. They have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. We can see here that it has a envelope known as capsid, inside which HIV enzymes and RNA are there. Surface of the envelope consists HIV glycoproteins. These proteins are essential for targeting the cells. Inside the virus, RNA as its genetical material is present along with the enzyme reverse transcriptase, which helps it to form viral DNA inside host. Transmission of AIDS, sexual contact with the infected person by transfusion of contaminated blood, that is blood containing virus and its products, by sharing infected needles, as in the case of intravenous drug abusers. They use the needles together from infected mother to her child through placenta, as the virus can cross the placenta. We can see by sexual intercourse, sharing needle or syringe, blood transfusion, mother to child are the common transmission modes of AIDS. We must know who are at high risk. Individuals who have multiple sexual partners are at high risk of getting HIV infection. Drug addicts, as I told you, they use the needle among themselves. Individuals who require repeated blood transfusion, as in the case of patients of thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, which repeatedly use the blood transfusion. Child born to an infected mother. Understanding AIDS well, it is important to note that it does not spread by mere physical contact, that is touch, spread only by body fluids like blood, lymph, saliva, etc. Hence, patients of AIDS should not be isolated from the family and society for their physical and physiological well being. Time lag between infection and appearance of the symptom vary from few months to many years, that is 5 to 10 years. So it's clear that you can't get HIV from hugging, sharing food, sweat, insect bites, toilet seats, bathing, sneezes, coughing, shaking hands, etc. To control any disease, it's must to understand how do it infect the human body. Although we have a strong immune system, then also such viruses infect us. After entering the body, virus enters into the macrophages, one of the immune cell. Here, viral genome RNA replicates to form viral DNA by enzyme reverse transcriptase, which is present in the virus itself. It performs reverse transcription in which DNA is made from the viral RNA. Viral DNA now gets incorporated into the host cell's DNA. Now, viral DNA directs the infected cells to produce virus particles. Now, new viruses are produced in the macrophages, that is, macrophages act as a HIV factory. Simultaneously, virus also enters the helper T lymphocytes, which are very important cells of our immune system. Same procedure takes place, they replicate and form various viral particles inside the T lymphocytes. These progeny viruses are released into blood. They attack other T lymphocytes. Repeatedly release and attack leads to the progressive decrease in number of T lymphocytes. Person suffers from bouts of fever, diarrhea, weight loss like symptoms. Decreased number of T lymphocyte result in lower immunity and the person gets infection very easily, which he or she can overcome otherwise. Let's try to understand the infection through an animation video. HIV enters helper T cells. The helper T cells consist of CD4 receptors which recognizes the viral glycoproteins, and hence the virus enters the helper T cells. The envelope of virus fuses with the membrane of the helper T cells, and thus the genetic material along with some proteins are released inside the helper T cells. After entering the T cells, the viral RNA is released in the cytoplasm along with the reverse transcriptase. It gets entered into the nucleus via nuclear pores, and the reverse transcriptase make the RNA into DNA. The DNA, after entering the nucleus of the host cell, merge with the DNA of the host cell. This is done by a protein known as integrase. With the help of integrase, viral DNA incorporates itself into the host cell DNA. Now RNA polymerase will form mRNAs, will get out of the nucleus and forms viral proteins and viral particles along with the viral RNA. These proteins and viral RNA associate themselves and release the viral particles outside the T lymphocytes. This way, T lymphocytes are made HIV factories by HIV. Many of the HIV particles are then released from the T lymphocytes, which are released into blood and are ready to infect the other T helper cells. This way, individuals' own cells act as HIV factory and the infection proceeds very fast in the body. Infection to T cells decreases the immunity vastly. Several symptoms appear like joint pain, high temperatures, rashes, nausea, weight loss, candidiasis in oral cavity, diarrhea, frequent viral infections, increased sweating, swollen lymph nodes, liver enlargement, drowsiness, etc. The patient becomes immunodeficient and it should be tested soon. Diagnostic test for AIDS is ELISA, that is enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Treatment involves antiretroviral drugs which are only partially effective. It must be kept in mind that these drugs prolong the life of the patient, but they cannot prevent death of the patient, which is inevitable. As AIDS has no cure, prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infection spreads due to conscious behavior patterns and is not something that happens inadvertently like pneumonia or typhoid. Of course, infection in blood transfusion patients newborn may be ignorance, and it is rightly said that don't die of ignorance. National AIDS Control Organization NACO and non-governmental organization NGOs are doing a lot to educate people about AIDS. WHO has started a number of programs to prevent spreading of HIV infection, making blood safe from the blood banks from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in hospitals, either public or private, free distribution of condoms, controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex, promoting regular checkups in HIV susceptible population, are some such steps which can be taken up. Infection with HIV or having AIDS is something that should not be hidden, since then the infection may spread to many more people. HIV AIDS infected people need help and sympathy instead of being shunned by society. Unless society recognizes it as a problem to be dealt with in a collective manner, the chances of wider spread increase many times. It is malady that can only be tackled by the society and medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of this disease. This is all about AIDS. I hope you have understood the disease, its causes, its mechanism, prevention, diagnosis, etc. One more most dreaded disease of human which caused major deaths all over the globe is cancer, which we will study in the next lecture.